Hello and welcome to this pit stop for Forum Trajanum, a game designed by Stefan Feld, published by Stronghold Games and Hook. In Forum Trajanum, the players are going to be competing each other to run the best colonia in the Roman Empire time of the Emperor Trajan. This is going to be done over 12 rounds over the course of 3 eras. At the beginning of each of the rounds, 2 cards are going to be flipped up and they're going to have symbols on them corresponding to columns and rows which are on the player's colonia. And they're going to choose a tile each from the column or row depicted, and then they're going to look at them secretly. They're going to decide to have one that they keep for themselves face down, and each player then is going to pass one of the tiles chosen to the player on their right and receive one from their left. Once everyone has passed them, we start with the first player and we're going to flip them over, and that first player decides which of the 2 tiles they're going to keep. Now the tiles give you access to various resources. They can give you money, which you'll need to pay your citizens. They can give you those citizens, which will fill up these rows here, make scoring more efficient on your rows and give you bonus powers. They can also give you workers of the various colours, which will help you build buildings within your own colonia. They can also give you these builders, which will help you build different type of buildings within your own colonia, these grey ones, which will score points for the rows. They can give you assistants, which will help you change the colour of your workers, or they can give you access to these tribunes, which you can use to use 2 tiles on 1 turn, or to make a card wild, so you can take any tile from your board. Anyway, you're going to look at the 2 tiles and you can decide one to keep. Now, if you decide to use the one that's been passed to you, then your own colour tile will be flipped down and put here as an envoy. However, if you keep your own colour tile, you don't do anything, you just discard the other colour. Once you've decided what to keep, and if you do keep a citizen, they get placed up here on the citizen row. Otherwise, you take whatever it's been given to you. You can also get something which will give you an improvement, which can push up this score slider, and that looks like that, and that will help you score extra points in the game. Whatever you decide to keep, you then get a building phase. And as I said, there are 2 different types of buildings you can build. You can build a building of the color of the worker you have, or using the grey builder, you can build one of these grey buildings. When you build a grey building, let's say I chose this market here, I put it in any space that's open on my board, and then I'm going to move up on the corresponding track on the board. And when I move up, I'm going to take the bonus of the area I go into, which again can be money or builders or an improvement, or in this case, I get a little bonus. That's that. If I wish to build a building which has got a colour to it, I can use a builder of that colour, take it, and again, I can build this anywhere on my board. And if I had 2 builders of the same colour, or I use an assistant to change one round, I can build a double colour one, or with a worker and a builder, I can choose one of these, which is a colour and also a grey building at the same time. Now, when you do build a building as a colour, you can take one of your envoys that you may have kept from your tiles earlier and put them in the forum on a space that corresponds to the colour of the building. Usually you can only go in an area that's been started but has not yet been finished, but as I said up here, these citizens will break the rules of the game. If you've got this first patrician level filled up at all, you can break the rules and go anywhere. I'm going to do that to make myself a nice big area of my envoys. The other patricians will let you flip over your scoring tile, for example, to make scoring more efficient. Will let you swap things around, changing this assistant for a worker, and various other effects, and getting the second one will get you a bonus. They'll also help you out when it comes to scoring. Now, each of the players is going to go around the table and do that, and then the start player marker is going to move, and we're going to do it 3 more times in each era. And once that's done, we're going to get to the scoring phase of the game. The first thing you do during a scoring phase is you have to pay each row of your citizens. And if you don't pay them, they'll flip over and become inactive, meaning they won't score as efficiently for you, and you won't have access to their powers anymore. And it costs 1 coin for each of those rows. Then you're going to check and see if you've uncovered any cranes during the course of only this round. So if I had uncovered this blue crane during the course of that whole era, I check and see all the blue buildings I've built at any point previous to this, and I'm going to score points according to what era we're in. Now, we happen to be in the second era, so this has got me 2 points, 3 in the first era. When we come to finish Trajan's column in the final era, it'll only be worth 1 point each. But in this case, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That'll score me 12 points. Then this crane is scored and done, and will flip back over again and will remain inactive for the rest of the game. You're also going to check each row of your colonia to see the different type of grey buildings you've built in there. And the different types of grey buildings will be multiplied by where you've got on the citizen track. Now, if you have no citizens in that row, each different type of grey building is worth 1. If you've got a citizen in there, each type of grey building is worth 2, and if you've got both, each type of grey building is worth 3 for you. Then you're going to come over here and check out the market. Each envoy orthogonally adjacent to an eagle is going to score you 1 point. You can trigger it so that they score diagonally adjacent as well. And you can even pop an envoy on top by using this bonus space, and they'll be worth 2 points to you. Then we move on to this slider marker we were talking about. And this is going to give you bonus points for various things. Firstly, you're going to check and see what's the largest area of your own envoys within this forum. And wherever that is on your slider, you check below it, and that's the number of points you get. In this case, we're going to score 3 points for these 4 envoys. Then we check the Trajan scoring, which is the last thing for each era. At the beginning of the game, we're going to have dealt out these 3 Trajan cards, and they give you the things you have to have done in order to score points at the end of each era. Now, we're in the second era. We will have a look here, and it will tell us that we need to have a grey building with a colour building above it and below it. So if this was here, we put these either side, we check our Trajan scoring, we happen to have bumped it up past this marker, so it'll be 5 points for having done that. And every time we do these building requirements across the top, we score 5 points. And also there'll be a collection requirement, and every time we've done that, we'll also score 5 points. In this case, it requires me to have an assistant and a builder, and also one of these tribunes collected down here, and that would score me 5 points. Again, that's dependent upon my slider. You just carry on the game. You move the marker around, you move on to the next era, you do it, you score 3 times. There's no endgame scoring. At the end of that third era, whoever scored the most points will be the winner of Forum Trajanum. This has been a Game Pit Pit Stop. For more videos like this, check out our YouTube channel. For more in-depth coverage of gaming, please check out the Game Pit podcast.